You may now begin your presentation.
Germany, Nienzi, Alemania, Deutschland. Our country is known under many names. But what defines us as a nation? Who are we?
We are technology, engineering, craftsmanship that goes beyond perfection.
We are innovation, ideas, creativity that goes beyond imagination.
We are science, progress, change that goes beyond expectations.
We are sustainability, development, responsibility that goes beyond our generation.
We are entrepreneurship, leadership, opportunities that goes beyond profit.
We are diversity, smiles, tears, passion. We are the people.
We are 75 students from the technical universities of Aachen, uniting entrepreneurship, science and technology. And today, we have the honor of representing all 30 teams from Germany. My name is Benedict, and I like to put a smile on people's faces.
I am Daniel, and I love my team.
My name is Keanu, and I always try to make a change.
I am Nina, and when things go wrong, I turn them around.
My name is Amal, and I like spreading the idea of hope. And this is Tuan. He thinks outside the box.
We are Enactus Germany, and together we go beyond limits. Today, we want to present 3 innovative approaches that empower people to overcome their limits.
Limits. Our engineers are famous for overcoming them, but people with disabilities still face limits. These people try to experience an ordinary workday in so-called work centers, but the type of jobs they are offered are mostly monotonous, a single step in a value chain, no final product to be proud of, and the psychological benefit of work is largely lost. But this is where Rebubble starts.
Our journey began with a visit to a work center where we met Jasmine. She's 22 years old and one of the people this project is really about. After following her daily routine, we set ourselves a goal. Give Jasmine a product to personally be proud of, a product she enjoys creating. We were looking for something useful that is built in engaging and rewarding steps.
Do you remember your last day in the hotel? Remember those little hand soaps? Have you ever asked yourself what happens to those after use? We took these hand soaps and started creating a functional recycling process. Together with her colleagues, Jasmine removes the first layer, shreds, and remolds the soap. It is purified and sterilized to ensure a hygienic product. Our soap is continuously tested for microbes and fulfills all production and safety regulations defined by German law.
At the end of our first working day at the center, Jasmine asked us a simple question. Can I take my soap home? This really showed us that Rebubble was on the right track. We knew we had to make this project sustainable to guarantee long-term job opportunities and really help the people at the center. First, we focused on our soap supply. We created a cooperation with the international hotel chain Leonardo. They were looking for a solution to improve their ecological footprint. Their waste is our opportunity. Second, we needed a larger market. We successfully approached the Rayvay Group, one of the biggest retailers in Europe, and got our soap listed in their product portfolio, making it the first ever recycled soap to be offered in Germany.
Many German social enterprises fail. They can't remain at a competitive price, eliminating most potential customers. And here is our big advantage. We offer a social alternative while staying in the same price segment, $1.20. Let me show you how. 35 cents are profit for Rayvay. 40 cents cover operating costs and taxes. So 45 cents per piece go directly to the work center where it pays wages and covers profits. Right now, we tap into 3 out of 50 Leonardo hotels in Germany. This amounts to 900 kilograms of soap a year, producing 8,500 bars of new recycled soap, generating a total turnover of more than 10,000 euros. With partners as strong as Leonardo and Rave, Rebubble will spread all over Germany, helping the work centers, empowering their people as we go.
We broke through the limits of most social enterprises by developing a social but competitive business. We empowered Jasmine and 50 others to go beyond their limits. In their new job, they execute every step of the process entirely on their own. Emphasizing their share in the production, everyone writes their name on the packaging. Now Jasmine can proudly show off her very own soap.
To introduce our second project, let me ask you a question. Can you imagine raising fish in a dry area like this? In rural villages in Africa, malnutrition is a serious problem. The average person eats about 1 kilogram of protein a year, while in Europe, that number is 54 kilograms. Water shortages prevent people from raising animals, eliminating an essential source of protein. And due to lack of income, buying meat or fish on outside markets is just not an option.
1 year ago, we completed a different project in Africa when by chance Moses, a local leader, told us about his villagers' needs.
Fish is nutritious. Fish is healthy. And fish is very expensive in Bukedia community.
But Moses already thought of a solution.
Growing fish in a fish tank is a new innovation.
He couldn't make it work on his own, but we saw the potential of raising fish and took his idea back to Germany. And then we decided, this is it. This is our new project. We are going to make it possible to raise fish without access to either electricity or running water.
Zamaki was born. With our engineering expertise, we figured out solutions to overcome two major problems: oxygen concentration and waste levels in the water. To validate our approach, we set up an experimental plant in Germany and found the perfect fish for raising, the tilapia. We also realized that our aquaculture provides a future for a whole community.
For our first implementation, we flew to Uganda and provided 2 communities with essential protein. Together with the villagers, we bought locally accessible materials to create an aquaculture, starting with a 3,000-liter water tank. Next, we showed how to install the pump and the filter. They are the key elements of our system, so let's take a closer look. The pump is powered by a solar panel and ensures sufficient oxygen levels in the water. The filter is made out of low-cost and natural materials: sand, activated charcoal, and an old mosquito net. It keeps the pollution in the water low and the quality steady.
To ensure the sustainability of our aquaculture, we transfer knowledge to our fish farmers. Our workshops cover 3 major areas. First, solar energy, how to install and maintain a solar panel. Second, fish farming, tending fish and ensuring a steady water quality. And third, business strategy. So let's talk about that. Our empowered fish farmers can raise around 3,400 fish in 1 tank per year. They can be sold at $4.40, which is 40% cheaper than the average market price, generating a profit of $1,200 every year. This easily covers the $600 investment for 1 tank within 1 year. But let's hear what Nico from Bukelia has to say about Samaki.
It is a source of protein for our households. It's a source of income for sustainability purposes. And for us, that is the future. That is the future. It's very important that we sustain it and spread it all over this sub-region, because I've seen it is something affordable by a majority of our farmers.
And we agree. Provided with a handbook about our workshops, Nico is able to train other fish farmers. This ever-growing train-the-trainer concept ensures that the knowledge of fish raising is passed on to many more. We immediately implemented our solution in 2 more African countries, empowering 3 villages, 2 in Benin and 1 in Zambia. We empowered 40 people in their communities to build up successful fish farms as entrepreneurs, currently raising more than 5,400 fish and supplying more than 600 people.
But we quickly realized what we created is about more than just fish in a tank. It is about continuous innovation taking place in Africa. The interest in our system was overwhelming. We were approached by the Ministry of Fishery in Zambia, a university in Benin, and the multinational company Evonik. They were so convinced by Zamaki, they wanted to become part of it. With their support, our entrepreneurs create a steady stream of innovations. Every new idea they develop in Africa is validated at our experimental plant in Germany. As soon as it's proven to be beneficial, it spread to all empowered communities. Several innovations have already been implemented, and Zamaki continues to be improved as we speak.
In the last year, we went all the way from a simple idea to a self-sufficient recirculating aquaculture. We empowered 40 entrepreneurs to reduce malnutrition by providing protein to their communities. We increased the available amount of protein from 1 to 5.3 kilograms per person. But most importantly, we created an African entrepreneurial network that connects innovative spirits beyond borders. Together with Moses, Nico, and everyone else, we are innovating beyond limits.
In our last project, we want to show you how we change people's life with a simple twist. Every year, more than 200 million people lose an extremity because of an accident, disease, or war. We are privileged. In the Western world, a high-tech prosthesis is easily accessible. But what happens to those 160 million people all over the world who are not as privileged? To those who cannot afford a modern prosthesis for up to $50,000?
This is Mohammed. After an accident 5 years ago, he lost his hand. But a functional prosthesis is simply not affordable for him. So we developed a functional prosthesis that is produced in a 3D printer. With the rotation of the forearm, you can open and close the front part, using it for picking up basically everything you need. Together with our test person, Julian, we verified the functionality of our prosthesis, proving that our concept is not only a future technology, but adaptable in today's world. To open a prosthesis shop, we researched different kinds of amputations, analyzed existing open-source 3D printed prostheses, and expanded our product portfolio to help people with various kinds of injuries. All prostheses share the same advantages: low cost and low maintenance.
So how can we get these prostheses to the people like Mohammed? We could produce them in Germany and simply ship them to our people in need. But knowing about the advantages of entrepreneurship, we knew that a truly sustainable solution can only work right on the spot. We flew to Morocco, the home of Amal's father. He established a contact with Abby, who owns a medical supply store in Casablanca. Every day, he is in contact with people like Mohammed, but the basic equipment he provides cannot fulfill their longing for a new hand. He was immediately convinced by our 3D printed prosthesis and eager to become our first prosthesis entrepreneur.
To ensure the sustainability of our prosthetic shop, we empower Abby in 2 different workshop modules, orthopedic and technology. In our first module, we teach Abby about various types of amputation and how to examine a patient with care and precision. This includes a visual exam as well as creating a plaster cast for further measurements. But medical knowledge is not enough. By teaching him about 3D printing, he's able to use and maintain our newly introduced technology. With the measurements gained from the plaster cast, he's able to digitally customize each prosthesis. The next step on the way to your new hand is simply pressing start. The 3D printer produces a newly made artificial prosthesis entirely on its own.
But let's get back to our actual people in need. Why is this prosthesis affordable for people like Mohammed? There are costs for material, production, and the distribution for the 3D printer. To complete our business idea, Abby gets a profit of $30 for his work as a social businessman. Adding this up, one prosthesis costs just $100. This is 500 times cheaper than a prosthesis with comparable functions. 500 times cheaper. And this is what Mohammed needed. It is much more than just an affordable pricing. It is Mohammed's chance to take matters back into his own hands. And to make sure that Mohammed is not the only one, we started a cooperation with local hospitals. They bring people to Abi's shop where he can take care of their needs.
But how can we reach the other 160 million people all over the world who need a prosthesis? We were approached by the United Nations, and together we're looking forward to scale up AmaPro all over the world.
Today, we showed you how we enabled Abi to provide a functional prosthesis for Mohammed and many more. Going beyond the personal limits of Mohammed, we gave him a chance to better participate in daily life. But we have a greater vision in mind. All of us here today have the potential to spread our idea all over the world. So now it's your turn. Check your contacts. Show us the next entrepreneur. Be the change for one of those 160 million. Medical care is a human right and not a privilege.
Today, we share 3 stories with you about how we empowered people to go beyond their limits. Uniting entrepreneurship, science and technology, 75 students from the technical universities of Aachen turned innovative ideas into real-life solutions.
A recycled soap broke the employment limits of 50 people with disabilities, giving them a source of pride.
6 fish farms empowered rural communities in 3 African countries to prosper beyond the limits of malnutrition.
Affordable prosthesis empowered Abi and Mohammed to break the limit of a restricted healthcare system.
Together, we enabled people to enter new and bigger markets.
To connect innovative spirits in an entrepreneurial network.
To help others take matters back into their own hands.
We are Enactus Germany, and together we are going
beyond limits.
Thank you to the team from Germany. Judges, you may now begin the question and answer period.
Thank you very much. Excellent presentation. Can you tell me, what do you feed to the fish, and how do you get the food to those rural communities?
So our tilapia that we're raising in our fish tanks, they can eat chicken waste or kitchen waste in general. So this fish is really adaptable to the environment, and yeah, he can eat whatever is left in the kitchen and grow that it can be eaten.
I have 2 questions related to the numbers. One of them is on the last project. In your annual report, you speak about $20 profit. In the presentation, $30 profit. Which one is it and why? Second question on Rebubble. If I get the numbers right, they're $10,000 in revenue at a 40% margin for wages. Results in $4,000 in wages across 50 people equals $80 per person. How could that work? Or what do I have wrong?
Regarding your first question, there might be a failure in the annual report. It is actually $30 for Abi. So yeah, he gets $30 for 1 prosthesis.
Regarding your second question, the first thing I need to clarify is that in Germany, the government has decided to implement a work center system to guarantee employment for people with disabilities. And the people employed at these centers are not paid at an hourly wage, but are instead compensated for their work, regardless of the total amount of work they did. So what is different about Rebubble than about the other jobs is that we, aim and succeed at implementing people that are otherwise hard to employ, and B, give them work that they enjoy doing and that they can take pride in, which results in the psychological benefit and therefore meaningful work.
Have you guys done anything to monitor unintended consequences after these projects have been executed?
For rebubble, I don't think that there are many unwanted consequences that would cause a considerable amount of harm.
So about Samaki, if I get your question right, you were talking about exit strategy, right?
Just anything that may affect their cultural understanding and their communities. Yeah. Did you hear that?
No.
I'm just wondering if, say, you launched the fish farm and economically you brought people up from poverty, or with any of the other projects like that, have there been any unintended consequences, like maybe any sort of backlash from neighboring communities where they're upset that their neighbors have been lifted up, but why not them? Anything like that?
Okay, so the prototypes that we implemented in our rural villages, of course, attract a lot of attention from other villages. But since we focus on the train-the-trainer concept and want to spread these fish farms, it's accessible also for the neighbor villages. So since we're working on the spot with local institutions, they also try to prevent negative impact of this. So they also try to spread it and scale it up in the villages concerning Samaki.
Regarding the last project, there are actually no disadvantages, but a lot of advantages. The people get the procedures so they can take matters back into their own hands. They can do simple steps like opening a bottle of water. They can get back into a daily work day. And most importantly, for some cultures, they have, again, a right hand, which they can use. And so there are a lot of advantages, but no disadvantages.
I have a question about the fish project. So you mentioned the selling price of the fish was $4.4
Your time has expired.
kilogram.
Judges, please join me in thanking the team from Germany.